Warning, this is a review of EA's Battlefield 4. No footage, audio, video from Battlefield 4 was used in the making of this review. Plus, as a note, over 100 hours was played in the purpose of play content. Meaning, I put in a lot of time on this one. Sorry for the delay. Well, Kadic is back after a long hiatus. When's the last time I did a Kadic review? It was Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li. When it gets down to video game reviews, it's even longer. The last video game I did was Madden NFL 25. It shows you how long it actually was. But but now but now but now the wait is over. One of the biggest games of the year is about to be my first review in about 6 months. Strap in, arm up, and center by, people, because it's time to talk Battlefield 4 and why this year is the year not to buy Call of Duty, regardless of its technical flaws. Battlefield 3 is a weird enigma to me. Well, not really. It's more of a bore, frustration, and a pain in the ass. But I own it as part of my over 130 game collection for 360, so when I heard of Battlefield 4, I was not only skeptical, I was completely against it. Instead, when I heard Call of Duty Ghosts was more of the same, I decided to give the alternative a shot, seeing that the Xbox One version may actually be something to look forward to. Now, that review will be coming as soon as I have a One and some time. But largely, this is about the 360 version of Battlefield 3. And you can also say PS3 if you want to. Now, what is Battlefield 3? Well, it's one great multiplayer disc and a coffee coaster. Literally. Literally. The single player campaign for Battlefield 3 is equivalent to a coffee coaster or a frisbee to shoot a BB gun at. It's a complete and total waste of time and your money. So, 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 1 year later, 2 years later, how does Battlefield 4 fare? Now, I could cut this into 2 reviews, but come on, everybody cuts it in 2. Let's cut to the chase. Single player is not a coffee coaster. Fluttershy, yay for those in the crowd that love single player campaigns. Sure, it's not an award winner by any means, and it's not going to change what you think of first-person shooter campaigns. But in terms of a Battlefield campaign, it is reasonably well. See, you play as a squad sent in to get two VIPs straight up and out of China. Of course, you're Marines, but of course, when crap inevitably goes wrong and your squad is left to fend for itself against the entire Chinese army, it's up to you to shoot shoot your way out of the pain. And on some aspects, the shooting is actually very realistic and very satisfying. Getting headshots is easy. It's almost a point and shoot Call of Duty like affair. But it actually takes the knowledge of the guns you may have and how much you may have in them to do it. Plus, there's a bunch of unlockable hidden guns for your campaign loadout, hidden all over each of the levels, as well as Battlefield's infamous dog tags. Picking them up gets you achievements, and it gives you some multiplayer goodies in the backside. Plus, with the addition of a score system similar to that of Bulletstorm or Halo multiplayer matches, the scores can also lead to more medals and, of course, more unlockable guns. Plus, the medal system actually keeps you invested in completing each level to its end. Although the set pieces are highly predictable and telegraphable. You know when a big explosion is going to happen and the story stages are going to take the proverbial turn for the worse. Your squad, on the other hand, is a relatable one, except for the one named Irish. I hate Irish. With every fiber of my being, I wanted him to die. And when it came down to the final decision, no spoilers, it was an easy one for me to make. In terms of the difficulty, even on the easiest difficulty possible, this game has brutal points of AI spike. In other words, if you get trapped, you will die, and you will die some more. Especially if you don't know how to drive the vehicles, mainly the tank in stage 4. Never before have I seen in a first person shooter vehicle controls that are so terrible. And this is across the board the multiplayer too. The vehicles are garbage. And on a minor side note, thanks to a glitch that is in the game that hopefully by the time this review goes up, or in a matter of weeks after this review, will finally at long last be patched. I had to restart the campaign 7 different times before reaching the completion point of this sucker. I never ever will endure another playing of Total Eclipse of the Heart ever again. Trust me, that song hurts my ears as much as hearing Rarity speak or Vicky Guerrero yell or something like that. In terms of the menagerie of weapons and cool stuff, you have plenty of that. Grenade launchers, claymores, plenty of guns in every category, but the negative is you can't customize them. you're preset to whatever they put on them, which is a drawback, which really doesn't make the weapons yours. And some, and like I said, the story goes down the predictable path that you would expect first-person shooters of this ilk to go through. But it is playable enough to actually get through if you can avoid that nasty save glitch or the game possibly freezing on you. You can pretty much breeze through it in a good 8 to 10 hour run. It's not going to impress anybody, but it is going to be refreshing for Battlefield to actually get it right. And sound quality is a must. By the way, the squad controls are garbage. Don't even use them if you don't have to. The AI doesn't react exactly to your commands or rush where you send them. And plus, with the computer having super bullets and super sight, meaning they see you even in cover and can shoot you from a mile away, the squad controls end up being a useless afterthought. Although the although the tactical binoculars are a nice welcome touch. But enough about the single player. That's not why you buy Battlefield 4. No, you buy it for the multi. Is the multi better than Battlefield 3? Has DICE finally addressed that dreaded learning curve that killed Battlefield 3 for most noobs? Well, yes and no. The team deathmatch and domination modes that are played on smaller maps can be fun, frenetic, and great entry levels modes for everybody to get into. But of course, if you're used to point and shoot snipers, you can forget that stuff, as things like bullet drop and even finders that can limit your sway and your bullet drop if used effectively make sniping more technical than before. And with little to no use of aim assist, even though the game has it, most people that are used to aim assist helping you out and blasting down targets might take some getting adjusting to. The kits are totally customizable though, with any weapon being usable in any kit, with plenty of unlockable stuff when you level up the kits enough. Plus, plus the conquest mode actually plays better than in BF3 because of the map design, with each objective clearly defined and the point of winning each game also clearly defined. Now, winning might come down to whether you have a good team or not, which is always the clincher in Battlefield games. But if you can find a good team, winning at Battlefield is just as good as playing Battlefield. That is, if the multiplayer wouldn't repeatedly crash, have texture problems, freeze your Xbox on loading screens, things like that. Or totally delete your progress completely in some cases. Battlefield 4 might be the most singularly buggy multiplayer ever delivered. I don't know whether it was DICE having to rush it out due to the overlords at EA, or just that the Q&A didn't do enough of a good job to monitor the game. Something is inherently wrong here with this multiplayer, and it practically kills a good time. Plus, Rush mode has now officially become broken due to the horrible spawn system, universal in all the game modes. Sometimes you'll spawn right in the instant death, just mere seconds after your last death. Hopefully, DICE will patch that as well. And some of the weapons are extremely underpowered, and grenades don't have enough throw range until an upgraded grenade is unlocked, which you have to kill people with grenades in order to get, which can be troublesome. For those who love the work for what they get, this game is definitely for you in the multiplayer spectrum. You're literally going to have to earn everything in order to succeed here. The new defuse mode is like search and destroy. If you like search and destroy, it might be your cup of tea. If you don't, well, you won't. Conquest, Team, and Team Deathmatch are the go-to modes, but Obliteration also stands up just a twitch bit for being something unique. But the mode that really sticks out and really gives me high praise is the Commander mode. Commander mode, once you reach level 10, which trust me, that's no easy feat, allows Battlefield to transform into an RTS where you're the overseer of the rest of your team, sending UAVs, squad orders to attack objectives, EMPs, or even sending down full-on ships to deliver aerial pain or dropping supplies a minutia of different things that you can unlock based on your team's performance. Once again, whether you're successful in commander mode actually depends on whether you have a team or not. But if you have a good team, a good commander will, in fact, be the most viable thing on the battlefield, giving giving your team inherent advantages. And it's good for a person like me that's not really good at the shooting, but good at the strategy aspect of the game. And plus, this gives Battlefield a completely different and unique spin. I can only imagine a good commander on a 64-player map. Unfortunately, on the current gen, it's still 32 max, and the servers can be a little bit crappy. And without the lack of an actual party system, joining other friends' games can be more of a hassle than what it actually needs to be. There are hardcore modes if you dig through the server browser, but trust me, according to one of my friends, don't even bother with hardcore. There is a test range where you can play with the vehicles, test your different weapons, and customize your loadouts. But without the ability to customize your loadouts before you jump into a server, it can be really agonizing customizing the weapon while your teammates are waiting for you to spawn into the game to help. Each of the maps have their own unique destructible environment. through the process of revolution, which revolution completely and utterly works. Buildings crumble, streets streets get dotted. In fact, entire stage flood zone will get flooded. Storms happen that causes winds to whip up in the map past a storm. Revo- Evolution is really fun. It's just too bad it's only one environmental effect in a stage, and not every building is completely toppable. Taking the page from Battlefield Bad Company 2, also with the upgraded physics of the Frostbite 3, I am mostly intrigued by the future of Revolution and how this little add-on will get even better. In closing, folks, Battlefield 4 is amazing. It's not perfect by any means, and there's still a lot of growing that the game can go through. The battle packs are a nice, easy way to unlock camos, weapon attachments, and even XP boosts to keep the player invested every 3 levels. And the campaign is largely playable and somewhat fun. But the technical issues that have bothered Battlefield 4 since launch might skirt you away a little bit, especially on the current gen. But for those that are willing to fight through the problems to see the enjoyable time that Battlefield 4 has to offer, then I'll say it right here, folks. Avoid Call of Duty in the year 2013/14. Instead, suit up with Battlefield. It will be well worth your money despite the issues, and hopefully those will be fixed. Until the next Kadic review, find peace in your own nirvana.